So we as people subconsciously compare ourselves to those around us, even though we know that ultimately comparison is the thief of joy. If you constantly focus on the things that you don't have compared to what you do have, you're gonna drive yourself insane. Like that's how we end up with like these crazy millionaire billionaires in our society spending their money on whatever kind of depraved evil shit they're spending it on because they've experienced absolutely everything they can experience. So they're trying to look for some new outlandish crazy shit in order to feed their fucking like never ending gullets. But I'm not talking about the elite today. I'm not talking about the rich elite. I'm talking about everybody else. I'm talking about me. I'm talking about you and me. So have you ever just like have you ever just been out and about? Maybe you're at work. Maybe you're hanging out with your friends, or maybe you're just going on a walk, and you look at somebody, and from a quick glance, you know absolutely nothing about this person. You don't know a single thing about this person. But from a quick glance, you wish, man, I wish I was that lucky. I wish I was that lucky as that person. You know what I mean? Like you go outside, you see somebody with a nice car that, maybe it could be your dream car, They have a beautiful girlfriend, boyfriend, whatever. They're in a beautiful relationship. Odds are if they got a nice car, a nice partner, they probably have a nice home too, Their fit's clean, their haircut's clean. They're just overall just doing well for themselves. And you take a look at that for a second, you're like, man, I really do wish I was that lucky. And the thing is that the thing about that is that when you see people in public like that, and not even just when you see successful people, right? And this is coming from somebody who is at this moment not successful in the fucking slightest. But if you see successful people in public, you don't really think about what they did or what they had to do in order to get at that point. You have no idea what that person's past 5, 10 years or their entire life was like. You have no idea what that person did in order to get to that point in their life, right? But that doesn't matter. You take a look at them and you see them for who they are now, and you get envious, you get jealous, and honestly, there's nothing wrong with that. That's a normal human reaction. Now, don't get me wrong, some of it really is just luck. Some people are just lucky like that. Some people were lucky to be born with a silver spoon in their hand, or if they weren't, some people were lucky that they were in the right place at the right time. And, others, people like me and people who, if I have to take a guess, maybe even people like you just aren't as lucky. I remember I had a conversation with my old man. uh, as a matter of fact, he's a good example too. We had a conversation like this years ago. He was telling me about some people, some people just have to create their own luck, man. That's just how it is. And you and I are those people, man. That's just the case. Like, and to go back to what I was saying earlier, uh, if you focus on the stuff you don't have rather than what you do, you will inevitably drive yourself insane. And this is true. So let's take me, for example, this time, right? I have a PC right now. My PC is probably going to die within like a year and a half, maybe 2 years. I'm going to be completely honest with you. My PC has some really weird shit going on with it. It is probably going to die pretty soon. But even with that being said, let's take me 6 years ago had zero PC. Whether it worked or didn't, that motherfucker didn't have a PC. He didn't stand a snowball's chance in hell. He couldn't be a YouTuber even if he tried. He didn't even have the right equipment. He couldn't afford it. He was an adolescent. He was a boy. But no, even now, even to this day, even though my PC isn't the most consistent thing out there, the most functional thing out there, I can still use it. I can still sit down and use it and record videos and do whatnot with it. Now, granted, it may not be perfect, but it's more than most people can say. Most people don't have PCs out there, man. Shit, there's people out there that can't focus on having PCs. So To go back to what we were saying about comparing yourself to people. So, comparison is the thief of joy. You're going to drive yourself insane if you compare yourself to people, especially strangers on the street. You have no idea who these people are that you're comparing yourself to. You really don't. Like, you don't know what they did in order to get there. You don't know how unlucky they were in order to create their own luck. You don't know that. You don't know what kind of past they had. Maybe they had to fight, financial stuff. Maybe they had to fight, mental stuff, depression, anxiety, so on and so forth. Hell, maybe they had to, outright fight homelessness. Like I wouldn't wish something like that on my worst enemy, man. That's a fucked up thing, man. Like homelessness, and I'm very grateful to this day that I've never experienced it. I hope to God I never will, but like that's just that's a horrible thing, man. I've seen how it affects people. Like like living on the streets. I know people look down on homeless people, but living on the streets is bound to negatively affect anybody's mental health. Like that's just how it is, man. It really that really is just how it is. And to go back to what I was saying, if you're gonna compare yourself to people that are doing better than you, fine, okay, we can do that. Why not do the opposite? How about compare yourself to someone that is doing worse than you, right? Compare yourself to somebody who is not as better off as you are. Because no matter how bad you think things are now, sure, I don't know who you are. I'm sure you've got a like your life may be better than mine. I hope it is. Maybe it could be worse. Who knows? But like, there's always somebody out there going through worse, man. And that's not me saying that to discredit the pain or anything that you might be going through, but it's just me stating a fact. There's people out there that are going through worse, man. You know the saying, there's a bigger fish, there's always a bigger fish. The same goes opposite ways, man. There's always somebody suffering more. You shouldn't let a thing like luck or just like probability dictate your life, man. You really shouldn't. Even though luck is a very real thing, and yeah, sure, we've all gotten lucky at times. We've all gotten unlucky. We've all been lucky too, sure. At the end of the day, you are the progression that you want to see. If you want to move forward in life, it is your like job to do so. And that sounds really like straightforward and like, stupid. Like, yeah, I already knew that, Stranger Blue. Thank you. But I didn't know that 5 years ago. So this is why I'm saying it now. Uh but no, if you're going to move forward in this life, it is your job to do so. It is. There's going to be people out there that are going through worse than you. There's going to be people out there that have it a lot better than you. But I wouldn't, if there's anything I can say to that, don't let somebody else's success discourage you. If anything, you should let it inspire you. But no, that's it. Don't compare yourself to strangers on the street, man. Don't do that. Don't compare yourself. Compare yourself to the only person you should be comparing yourself to you to you is you. All right, do that. And go. I don't know. Go drink a glass of water. I don't know.